Hello and welcome to another episode of Skillcraft. This is episode 18 and today I want to work on my biggest area yet. Last episode we made this wonderful building here and the windmill over here. I had planned to go to here, but I kind of just want to get like loads of stuff done today. I want to make a load of building progress, and so for that I think this kind of big area here is where I want to go. So as you can see, quite large. I want to do this outline here, this one here, and this big lake I have planned, and obviously the surrounding grass and things. But not only that, this area has no bottom, so I also want to get that done today. So basically I've got a ton of building on the list, and we should see a massive transformation by the end of this video. What is this? There's a lectern here. Oh, I think I know what this is. I'm gonna read this somewhere a little bit more private. Let's just like check there's no one about. We seem fine. I'm standing on the table. Let's go to the front then, shall we? So this book I'm in is by Ray. So last episode I may have like possibly started a resistance. So if you missed it, Skilltree, the government, is taxing the shops, and I have like 4 shops and I have to pay like 12 diamonds a week, which is crazy. So I wrote to everyone saying if anyone wanted to join a resistance, and I'm guessing Ray, I'm in. I think he wants to join. Let's give it a read. I totally agree about the Skillcraft government being oppressive and even corrupt. It should be illegal to tax server members. I like the blue, nice flare. We should start a new secret organization to resist against the Skillcraft's government. We could also start a revolution, declare independence. I feel like we also need a secret meeting base and a meeting time. Contact me with mail, Ray. Okay. Well, he's definitely got a point about the secret meeting base, because this is like, I mean, I think this is quite well defended, but not exactly secret. Not only would a secret base be really helpful, it would be helpful for storing things like this. Like this is contraband. I can't have people getting into that. And of course I'm not going to show where said secret base is, but I think that might be another thing to add to the list then. Secret base. I think we'll get to that a bit later. So this area then, let's get started with this, because as I said, it's quite a lot to do, and I'm wondering where to start. So we got sort of 3 things to do. Obviously, this building, the smallest. So very tempting to start here. But I also think this might just be the best place to start, because this big lake actually links up with like a river here. And this is going to lead this way. And this big area is very empty right now because I want to do some like actual terraforming. And I think there's going to be some terraforming over here as well, just to make this feel a little bit more natural. So then, for this river to make sense, this building needs to be here. So I think it is probably the best place to start. And then also with this building here, I could start figuring out what to do with the back here. So all that to say, I'm going to start with the smallest building. I'll also like get this in as well. It's also probably the most convenient because I already have like all the shulker boxes I've been using with basically the materials I need. So we can just take these. I've just been using these for so long now, but I think I'm going to have to switch that up a little bit later, now that we're introducing some actual foliage and things. So let's leave this stuff here, and I think we're ready to get started. So right away, I'm doing things slightly differently to my creative plan of this build. So I've got this path that leads like right in front, and then my original design, the door is on the front. So I'm kind of just rotating the entire build 90 degrees, minus this thing on the back, which I probably should say what it is. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. So this building is going to be a water mill, or some kind of like hydroelectric building. Not really sure what the water wheel is actually doing, but it looks cool, and that's why it's here. And it's going to get all of its power from the river here that leads to the lake. So that's what I'm doing, and yeah, as I said, change the design slightly, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Now let's get a load of brick, because the majority of my builds are brick, and the walls are a pretty good place to start most of the time. It's looking really ugly right now, we gotta love it. And I'm a little bit worried that this is too close to the path. Not sure how I'm going to decorate it. I don't feel like moving the entire building back one like I did with that one over here, but I might have to do it again. Why do I keep doing this? Well, problem fixed. It's now one forward, one back, and that wasted a lot of time that I really don't have this episode. But that's fine, we can move on to the rest of the stuff now. And I realized that this texture looks really ugly. I hate it. The terracotta and the brick, how it is right now, just looks really weird. I'm gonna move that. That looks really weird. That bit in particular just looks extra weird. Now I just can't. Oh, jeez, this is not really. Oh, I hate this texture. It's fine. We'll cover a lot of it up. At least that's what I'm hoping anyway. So we should like start doing that because I hate looking at this. Right, it is no longer just a simple flat box. I've added this thing on the front. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. Some kind of pipe things around the side here. This side is empty because that's what we're going to do next. This is the interesting bit. And then just like a back here, which is a little bit chaotic, and a big half-finished chimney. So yeah, it's all coming together a little bit. Now I want to work on this wheel here because, you know, this is the fun bit. This is the bit that's going to make the building look particularly interesting. Now, what do I do with this? I haven't actually planned for this, and I don't know what the river is going to look like. But I suppose I'll just continue the brick down, and we'll figure the river out later. So for now, that'll do. Now I've got everything I need. I forgot the wax. It'll be fine for now. I need to figure out, I don't know where the center is of this. I think probably just there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. So if we do that, that's our center. And now we just build the wheel around it. So I've got a lot of copper here and it goes into the floor. So we'll need to figure that out. I suppose I'll just cut a hole in it. Oh, and we got a visitor. Sell anything useful? I'm shocked. And goodbye stuff. Anyway, back to work. Oh, jeez. Almost knocked me down that hole. I was literally just thinking, try not to fall down there. That would be rather annoying. Why is it always that I just can't get under the block? Oh, wait. That was incredible. I think I've done it wrong, though. Yep. Okay, well, kind of ruined the moment there. There we go. It's meant to be like that. It's actually a lot easier to build. Wait! Oh, I've done it wrong again. Why are water wheels so difficult? Oh, that was close. At this rate, everything else is going to have oxidized. Right, it's like that, that, and then that. That is correct, right? That looks circular. That looks very circular. That is really annoying. The stair connects. Oh, maybe I'll use a slab instead. That will solve the problem. Okay, that's gone. Not quite perfect, but it'll do. And I've also got all of my honeycomb, which hopefully this is enough to actually get everything. And I am going to keep it all in like its perfect state because I feel like a water wheel would, although I think actually being exposed to water probably speeds up the oxidization. But we're going to go ahead and say that they keep it very clean because it's like, you know, function, like it has a function, it needs to be working. And I think I have run out of honeycomb. Okay, no need to worry, found some more, so we can just quickly finish this up. Where'd I go? I really don't want to miss a spot. Okay, I think we're good. So there we go. There's the water wheel. Let's remove that, and it looks awesome. Very big. Maybe a little bit too big, but I quite like it because it does allow me to, you know, have a bit more detail in the shape. So, all we got left now is the roof. And I think the roof on this one's actually quite interesting. So let's get that in. And I've got a roof, which means that this building is basically finished. I don't have an interior, but I don't feel like doing that today. We'll get to that at some point. Here we go. This looks awesome. And I say technically finished because, like, we haven't done the surroundings, which I want to go and do now. Should I do the lake first? Yeah, I think I'll do lake and this little bit of the river, and then we'll move on to this big area here, which I haven't revealed what it is yet, but you'll find out what that is in a bit. So I think first I'm going to just fix this little path bit, and make a little bridge, because this red netherrack really kind of ruins the whole look. I'm going to be honest, this isn't the best work I've done. Yeah, that's about it. Let's move on to the lake. How am I going to do this? That's a good question. I have literally zero plans for this. I don't know what anything is going to look like. I don't know how deep it's going to be. I don't know what materials I'm going to use. Am I going to go with like sand or dirt? Or we could stick with stone, I suppose. I don't know what I'm going to do for the edges. I think I'm just going to give it a go and we'll see what starts to happen. I'm really not sure how I feel about this. It's fine at the moment. I've gone for sand, and I'm maybe regretting it just like a little bit. It's very like different to the grass, like it stands out a lot. So I'm really hoping that once I get water in and can decorate it a bit with foliage, so around the edges and actual like seagrass in the water, it should stand out less and look a little bit less crazy and ugly. There's also like only 2 yellow blocks that really work for texturing. There is endstone, but it's a bit of an odd color, so I haven't used it. That's where I'm hoping the water will come in handy there. I'm also thinking of adding some like rocks and things around the edge just to again blend it in a bit more. Just basically I really want to add just a load of stuff to just try and hide as much of this bright sand as I can. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now, and hopefully it looks a little bit better when I come back. So I ran into a little bit of an issue. I started filling it up, and there's ice. Ice is forming in my river. Also, that is oxidized. Why has that done that? Okay, let's just fix that real quick. Yeah, ice is forming, and it's really worrying because this whole thing relies on, being water. Even my infinite water source is freezing, and I don't really know what to do. I think I'm gonna have to try and just like light everything up, and hopefully that fixes it. Here it's all right because these are all slabs. So slabs won't ice. So maybe I'll have to like try and just fill it with like grass and things because grass will stop it. I don't know, we might have to get a little bit creative with this. This project just keeps presenting problems, doesn't it? Why is there a drowned here? How is there a drowned here? Dude, go away. This is literally like a 2 deep pond and you've spawned. Ugh, so annoying. Right, I have to solve this ice issue. Because it's yeah. Interestingly, it's only really spawning here. Why is it not spawning, like, in the middle? So, ways I know of getting rid of ice is obviously, like, having waterlogged blocks. So I'm thinking lily pads and some, like, seagrass, kelp. Hopefully we can get some of that. Now, a lot of this stuff under here is slab, so I won't be able to have any seagrass here. Which is worrying, because like, there's just going to be a weird bold patch in the middle. So hopefully that's not too obvious. What is going on here? That is so annoying. The other way I know, which I think will be a lot easier, is light. If I can light all this pond up, it will probably look a little bit better and it will prevent the ice from spawning. So I'm going to give it my best shot. Let's see if it works. So this is what I've got. I think it's looking way better, obviously, because it's not just sand anymore. But as you can see, the ice is still here. I think it is melting a little bit. Also, these lily pads just don't stop the ice. That's fun, I guess. I tried, like, so much stuff. Hopefully no ice should spawn back in, because I've added these around the edges. I've also lit up underneath the actual thing, so all the light is now coming through the slabs. So hopefully we shouldn't get any more ice, which it doesn't look like any is respawning. It's mainly this area, so I'm guessing there's a slight biome change, and like for some reason that biome has ice, this biome doesn't, kind of thing. Who can understand the ways of Minecraft? So yeah, this is where it's at right now. I feel like it's missing something, and I don't particularly know what that is. So I think I'm just gonna like kind of stay here for a bit and think it over. I do need to add all of the foliage around the edge, so I am going to do that, and hopefully by then I'll have figured out a few more details that I can add to this. Oh, and this like gap in the middle that I thought might look a bit odd, surprisingly not that noticeable. I mean, you can see it if you're looking for it, but it doesn't stand up too much, so I'm okay with it. So yeah, let's foliage this up. So it's the next day, and I may have got a little bit carried away, so it's changed quite a bit, but it's looking awesome. I've just added a ton of foliage. I didn't go light on it. I just added it everywhere, and it really shines from above. So let's get this view. It looks very chaotic, especially when next to the very like structured, ordered buildings. This is just very like organic and natural, and I love how it looks. It turned out way better than I expected. So over here, I decided to add a little bit of a path that comes out to just like a picnic blanket and a little bench, so where you can just like look over at the pond. I did this because I didn't really just want to put like a load of trees here and foliage here, because I was getting a little bit worried it would be too much and it would just be too flat and boring. And I think this looks really cool. Next to it, I also have a little stream which runs along this way and off of the island. This is basically if I die and like don't spawn on my island, I can get up easily without the need for an elytra. And anyone visiting can also get up without an elytra. There is the nether portal though, which doesn't require an elytra and is actually a lot quicker. But I did realise that I am going to want an emergency elytra because I can't actually get to my actual base. This is the decorative part of the base. There's nothing actually useful here. Everything useful is up there. So if I did die and couldn't get back to my base, I need a way to get up there. So I've left an emergency elytra here. I've also got some in my ender chest, so if I have access to an ender chest, we should be fine. Basically, I shouldn't lose access to my base, which is a very key part of a base. Now, during this, I obviously had a lot of issues with ice, and they kept coming back. So I think I've come up with a pretty good solution. I made a boat. This one area just kept getting icy, so I put a boat here with a torch on it, and it seems to have solved it. And also, I really like this boat design. It looks really cool, and that also led to a dock, which I also think... Oh, can I make it? Sure. Yeah, I also think this dock looks really cool. So yeah, that is this area. Pretty much done. There's some like edges here that I haven't done, but I want to do those after I've completed this. Oh, hang on. We've still got ice issues. This is annoying. I even had to put these here, but I guess they only work in... What, like a 5-block radius? No, because this one doesn't. That's really annoying. I might have to, if I move this kelp here. Oh, there's a button in the way. That's fine, we can get rid of that. That shouldn't freeze it over. God, this is so annoying. How am I going to do this? I'm hoping this is a little bit better. It looks... kind of horrible, but I've just added some waterlogged leaves and some kelp that should stop it from freezing over. Really didn't think this through. It's been so annoying trying to deal with all of that, but I think that it's done and I don't have to worry about it anymore because there's not much water left, although I do have to do some kind of water source. This needs to originate from somewhere, which is going to be back here. So I'm going to have to deal with all of that again. But I think I've been teasing this big area enough now. Let's actually work on it and reveal what it is. This is a sky island, and naturally, people need a way to travel and get up and down. As I mentioned, in Minecraft we use elytras, but I want like an actual lore reason, maybe more of like a commercial reason as well. Perhaps individual citizens have their own elytras and things. I think they would also have planes. It just makes sense, doesn't it? So this area is going to be a bit of a mini airport, and it should be quite interesting because airports need quite a lot of space. So let's see how this actually like works. I don't even know where to start for this. So when designing this, I wanted to make sure that it didn't become too modern looking. I feel like with an airport, it very quickly can become quite a modern thing, but this needs to stay steampunk. So I think I've managed to do that. And mainly it's the planes that really like keep it from feeling modern, because I've gone with like biplanes and they're made out of wood and copper. I think that was the easiest way to like really make sure it stays steampunk. And then just a lot of the colors are very brown and brick and that kind of stuff. First thing I've done is put in a little bit of a dividing wall. Now obviously airports quite dangerous, so we don't want people just wandering in and getting ran over by a plane. That wouldn't be very nice. I don't know how far this is going to go along, because it's kind of difficult to design that kind of stuff in like a flat world when you don't actually have it in context. So this might change, but we'll see how that goes. And I think the main thing that we want to get in is obviously the runway. And it's moments like this where I'm really glad I put in the stone layer underneath this. It just makes it so much more convenient. So this is the width of the runway, not quite the length yet, I'm working on that. This is the actual size of the runway, and it's like kind of weirdly small. For something that takes up a lot of room, it kind of looks small for an actual runway. But that's fine, that's just, it is what it is. It should look fine once we're done with it. The challenge of designing this was definitely making it small, but like also big at the same time, because I have a huge amount of room on this island, and I don't want it to dwarf everything else on the island. But I also need it to be big enough to look like it could actually be a practical runway. And when this is done, we're going to get a brilliant view of the sun. Just imagine like a plane flying out into the sun at sunset. That's going to be nice. And this is our runway. I think it's looking awesome. I say that every time though, because I built it, so of course I'm going to think it looks awesome. And I suppose we can put it to use as an elytra runway. There we go. It looks cool. But it's obviously missing a lot of like details. But I want to talk about this awesome texture because I used mud and mud bricks for the runway because I thought that it would feel somewhat steampunky, and I didn't want it to feel like too built up, you know, so not concrete, not stone, whereas this feels like it's solid enough to be a runway, but it's still very muddy, obviously, because it's mud. And then I mixed in some coarse dirt and rooted dirt to be like the most worn down bits from the planes, which obviously are not in. And I want to build one here, which is why I've got this little cutout, and it's kind of awkwardly close to the water wheel. A little bit dangerous. I have also had to remove the lights, so now we've got ice coming back. Nice. And I'm not entirely sure if this is going to stay. I think it might change depending on how the plane fits in. It should be big enough, but I don't know if it will just look too close and too weird. So we might have to adapt it, but we'll see. So I think for now I want to get the building in, and then we could worry about putting in the planes. So I've got a bit of a hangar. This is looking awesome. It's not really a hangar though, more of like a workshop, because I want to build something in the middle here, and it's going to be a deconstructed plane. So I think that's a great excuse to start working on all of the planes. So I want like one here. This is going to be like a full plane. This is going to be the deconstructed one that I mentioned. But I also want some like flying around because they're planes. That's fun. So I'm going to have one maybe taking off. That could be quite fun. And just a few flying around because that will give it a bit more interest, a bit more dynamics around the island, and make it feel a little bit less like a flat, boring island. But on the topic of flat, boring islands, I've tried to combat this. I've got a bit of an outline here, and I want to raise this whole area up some. I'm not sure how tall it's going to go. Originally I was thinking more of a mountain, but looking at it, it would just kind of look weird just sticking up and being quite steep. So I think I'm going to go with like a gradual slope, and hopefully we can get it to about like sort of this height maybe. That could be kind of good. I don't know, we'll have to see what looks the most natural. And then at the top there I'm going to have the, what's it called, like the spring? Is that what it's called? I don't know, the source, that's the word. The source of the water. I don't know where I got spring from. Oh, how have I done this? So yeah, I've also added a little bit of like foliage, so here it's going to feel a little bit dense, and like along the edge here. Still need to do that side though, but I got a little bit bored. And something quite interesting, I put way too much thought into this foliage. Over here I've got like a very flat area, so there's nothing sticking up really, because planes are going to be flying over it, so naturally, you know, you wouldn't get any tall trees or really bushes or anything. So I put way too much thought into that. A little bit unnecessary, some could say, but I say it's those little details that really like bring everything together and make it feel interesting to explore and notice. So let's start getting some planes in. Well, 4.5 planes later, this is the design. It's looking really cool. I love this design. I had so much fun trying to make this. So here's the first plane. It's actually quite difficult to show you without like spoiling the rest of them. I mean, a lot of them are the same. So we've got this design. This is our basic, simple design. And this one's parked. That one's taking off. And it's looking pretty cool. And they are kind of like, you can kind of sit in them. I mean, there is a bit of a lantern in the way because I needed to light it up. But other than that, you got a pretty good seat. So I'm super happy with this design. I've also got like a kind of destroyed one. This one's like either being repaired or is in the process of being built. And I think this is looking very cool. And I got like the axe on the floor. I think it just fills out this spot and it gives, yeah, another little variation. But then we've also got one up here. Now this one is a big one. This is the big boy. This one is, I think, my favorite. I mean, it's huge and it took forever to build. It took so much longer than those little ones. These ones, really cool. I love them. But maybe I just love planes. There's something about a plane in Minecraft that when it's done right, it looks so nice. It looks so cool. So yeah, this one's actually got 2 seats. So we got like the pilot seat. And then, can I actually get back here? Yes, I can. Oh, am I going to be able to get out? Anyway, this one's like the gunner seat. So these are like just a lever with a lightning rod on it. But there is literally no way out. Help. Help. I'm stuck. Let's just destroy the roof. Yep, there we go. And of course, we got to get a good look from afar. You know what? Let's like go over to the shopping district and fly over, and then we'll get a pretty good view. There we go. So those are the planes. They kind of don't really load in because of the trapdoors, but from here they look very good and they're kind of in motion. So yeah, I'm super happy with that. I might. Oh, that was close. I might end up adding more of these. I don't know, but I mean we've got lots of sky space, and I could put these like throughout the rest of the world. Maybe, you know, they're like visiting other places. Could be interesting. So we are kind of running out of time for this episode, but I think we've done loads. I've done so much building. I think I'm all built out right now. But there is like one last thing that I want to do before I end this video, and it's just do a ton of landscaping. I've got this back area to do, this little bit here, and this edge here. Oh, and the underside, which I have like started a little bit, and I'm gonna get that done before we finish the video, because this is the building episode, so there's no better time to do it. I'm just gonna get started because this might take a while. So here we go. We've got a load of just foliage everywhere, and this took a lot longer than I was expecting, and we've still got ice problems. Yay! So there's not actually much to really show. I mean, it's just a lot of grass and things. So yeah, but it does look a lot better with all of this in. And at the back, I've had to put in just like a big dirt wall. So we're going to need this building in to really like cover that up, because it does look a little bit odd. I also made this little planter thing. I think it looks pretty cool, and it really just is something to put here that wasn't stupid trees, because I built so many at that point. And I also have this little stream which now has context. There is the source up here that runs down this little stream, powers the water wheel, and ends up in the ginormous lake. The scale is a little bit off, but you know what? We're not going to question that. So there we go. I've done a load of stuff this episode. It took so long. And this is definitely the biggest building episode I think I've ever done. I don't think I've ever done a video that is just purely building. And, well, this was that. So, yeah, pretty wild. And you know what's even better? We've still got quite a lot to go. Oh, I'm going a little bit crazy with this build. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.